Good. Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody tonight to our August workshop meeting. So we'll go around the table, say who's with us. We have Councilman Bedetti, Councilwoman Santiago, Town Clerk Kelly Allegra, we have our Town Attorney David Zagon, our Highway Superintendent Anthony Feo, and Councilman Steve Moreau, and also Receiver of Taxes Susan Chabot. And I, unfortunately, am George Myers. Okay, not on the agenda. The governor came out today with some news on this COVID and the new variant. But when I came to work this morning at 8:30, 9 o'clock, I put in play that all our employees will wear a mask outside of their personal offices. And we'll see where it's going, but the numbers are high. Orange County is one of the top 11 in the state. That's high. Of the 62 counties, we're listed in the top 11. So we'll have to keep a good eye on it. We had a conversation with the county executive the other day with all the municipalities, and everybody's keeping an eye on things, but to me, it doesn't look good. So we'll have to kind of see where we're going. So the first item on the agenda is the schedule of fees. Now, a couple of things we want to mention. We have the public hearing for the filming on in September. So we'll probably wait till September or October to do the schedule of fees, but I just thought we'll have to see what they turn out to be on that. There's some things on the dog park that I want to put on the table that we'll talk about. And I think that option in the code about developers getting a break if they do something at their homes or that they're developing. So that's at 1,500. So I think after the public hearing in September, we'll get into that. But those are the things that I have. Any board members have anything else they want to send it to me, we'll put that on there as far as scheduled fees go. The next item agenda is Stephen brought up something about a retirement issue for the police department, and I kind of looked into it, and the last retirement that they got is something called 375I, and it costs the town $63,000 a year for 10 years, so about $630,000 that we're still paying. And there's an ongoing annual cost that we have to pay too. So I have no interest in doing another retirement system. And the PBA said that they didn't ask for it anyway, so.
No, so I just want to, when you said they brought it up, we discussed it last month because of the letter we got, right? From the deputy chief about the retirement plan.
No, you said something to the effect that they were looking for a new retirement.
No, so
Oh,
the deputy
that's what I
chief,
heard.
the deputy chief sent a letter
Mhm.
to you in reference to retirement systems.
No, that was for him.
And then it was brought up in last month's meeting. Then in the executive session, we talked about it more. And in the executive session, you can watch the video. I never said to the PBA, never approached me. They never gave you a memo or me memo that I'm aware of. So I never said anything. My comments in there were that we did get a retirement plan from them years ago that went from the 375D to the supplement to 375 IP, which cost us $300 or $630,000. So yeah, the PBA never approached me. I never got a letter from them, and I never said it.
Okay, my recollection is that you said that something to the effect that they were willing to talk to us about a new.
No, I said we should approach them, and then you replied to me, well, then they're going to want something for it. And I said, perhaps, but that's your problem.
I think Dave said they'll be looking.
Well, yeah, well, somebody did, but
All right, well, anyway,
so I definitely,
it's not going to happen. So that's the end of that. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the police chief is looking to put an honor guard together. And he's kind of submitted a memo that I think I sent to everybody. Total cost is about $1,650. I don't have much of a problem with it. Anybody have a problem with them putting together an honor guard? Okay, so I think we'll go forward with that. Next item on the agenda has to do with this Pitney Bowes machine that we have a lot of trouble with. I think I sent everybody not only the memo, but some of Jack Finnegan's comments. And I guess this machine keeps breaking down. It wasn't kind of what it was supposed to be. They're willing to give us a credit for what it is. And I think the cost, they're going to refund $13,000. And the net cost to us will be $19,000. But we've been doing a lot of mailings lately, some of it having to do with the water meters, people doing things, and it's just not doing what it should do. So there's a lot of time lost with them trying to wait to fix the machine and do different things. So I'm certainly in favor of replacing this. Anybody have any comments? Yes or no? Okay. Next item on the agenda is we have this petition from the people in Clancyville, which is Ducktown. What had happened is the city of Newburgh has a rodeo. And the rodeo is kind of held on the weekends, and they seem to blast the music very loud. So I had a complaint from a resident there. I asked her to call a dryer to get a petition from her neighbors, which she did. I have contacted the city mayor in Newburgh. He's said he will speak to them. And I had remembered this being a kind of regular occurrence, and it's not. So the next one is scheduled for August 8th. If it still goes, I have supplied the police with the decibel meter reading, and we'll see if they go over or above it, and we'll have to see what happens. But mercifully, I think August may be the last one. So if we're getting complaints here in New Windsor, I can't imagine what the city of Newburgh is getting. This trauma kits, I had watched something on 60 Minutes, and it kind of talked about how they have these kits where anybody can stop the bleeding, and it had to do with these shootings at the schools and at different businesses. So I asked Lieutenant Feo and Mike Big to put together some numbers for me, and I have sent everybody a copy of what they're proposing. So they're proposing that 100 for the town and 48 for each police officer. Anthony, that would include your people. We'd have it in the truck if anything happens. So I think the whole cost is $11,881. I think that is money well spent. And according to Mike Big, these kind of things that I saw will stop the bleeding right away. And a lot of it came from wars over in Afghanistan there. So anybody have an objection to supplying this to all our people in all our buildings? So we'll do that. The next item on the agenda, we'll have this public hearing, which will be in September, about the cannabis, which is the marijuana law. So I don't know what anybody's feelings are, but I'll give you mine. But we would hear from the public first. But I guess if you opt out, and we're only opting out of places that sell it or where you can go there and smoke it. If you opt out, you can always opt in. Once you opt in, you can't opt out. So I've noticed that like the city of Newburgh is opting in. City of Middletown looks to me like they're opting out. I haven't seen any of the other towns, but I think that we should listen to the public hearing, and we have some information on it that anything that I have received, I sent to everybody. But so I think that maybe, yeah, there was a memo from Dave come out in July that we looked at. So we have to do something prior to December 31st. So let's have the public hearing in September and see what the public has to say. I don't know if anybody has any feelings on it now, but once again, if you you can always get back in. Once you get in, you can't get out.
If we don't opt out, then we're gonna probably draw a pretty bad crowd.
Well, that's why I'm saying we should opt out. I've said it all along, but
Good idea.
I think we should hear from people, and it's only right to have a public hearing.
Is the law posted somewhere that you can read what it actually is?
Yeah, I think I sent it to you.
Yeah, this is-
Yeah, it did. I sent it to you. But listen, it's like a lot of things that have come out of Albany lately. There's not a lot of guidance. They just put it out, and the police chief's not here, but he could tell you that, there's lots of issues that we're kind of dealing with that there's no direction. We're making our own direction. The next item on the agenda is with this, I'm still trying to get this Snake Hill building sold. So we have not, but Dave has met with, was it Richard Lease? And
Yes.
he has a proposal here that I've sent to everybody. I'd like to get this up and out there and see what it is. He's looking for a 5% commission on the thing. And he's kind of thinks the number should be around 6. So anybody have an objection to give it to him?
No, that was his recommendation, 600. That was a little lower than last time. We're going with that.
I think, I'm not sure, was it lower or higher, Dave?
No, the last.
That was 650?
Yeah.
Yeah.
649.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So
We were trying to
Yeah,
sell it
no,
on
I
our
know.
own for 550
Yeah. Okay.
and couldn't do it. But yes,
Listen, just because we say a number doesn't mean, we don't have to take it, we put it out there, see who comes along. So, we're good with that, let's do that. Okay, next item on the agenda is this new ethics code that's been kicking around for a while. So I think that the ethics board has met a couple of times. I know I've been in, I think Steve Betty's been in, Stephen Rose been in. So there are some comments that I think other people have that I have on it. But before we get going, I just would say this, that it's simply a recommendation that they make to the town board. The town board is the final say. So my position is we definitely need a code of ethics. There wasn't one for many, many years. It just fell apart. There was no disclosure forms. There was no nothing. So when I came in and we got this going, and now here we are like 18 months later and we still don't have adopted one. So what I'm thinking is that they're going to do some kind of report to us that I think as an open government, I'll just release whatever they say. But I just would like to see what kind of comments that you guys have, remembering that you're the final word. So we'll certainly can go around and talk about what we want, but they will do a report and then we'll kind of get together again. But I really would like to get it done by the end of the year.
So, we actually do have an adopted ethics law.
Yeah, well,
Um,
yeah, that's okay.
Well, I mean, I think it was done in 2018.
Yeah.
It was revised. And then I know the same ethics committee, with the exception of John McDonald, which is the town employee,
Mhm.
is the same prior to us coming in. So, I did have a lot, I was in there. I was in there for 3 hours getting interviewed. They came up with a recommendation. They put a lot of work in it. I thank, as a matter of fact, one of them is here and I thank them for their work.
Don
on it.
Beach is here.
I do think that, although at the end of the day, yeah, it is
Yeah.
our saying, this is a recommendation. I certainly would like, I read it and I have a lot of comments, but I certainly would like to sit with the ethics board and ask them what their intent is on some of these things, because I don't understand some of it.
Okay.
So I can't really make a good vote or decision unless I hear where they're coming from.
Okay, fair enough. That's why I'm saying I would like to get their reports. This is what they say. I have some things too that I would like to talk. We probably could have some kind of meeting with them and discuss what they are proposing. I don't know. For me, an open meeting would be fine, but I guess we'd have to take a look at that. But we need to first get what we have. We have, listen, that ethics that you were talking about was put together in about 5 minutes. All right, so there was some issues with it. And now this one has gone on for like, I don't know how many months. But I'd like to get to the bottom of it, but I kind of think that we need to see the report, and then we need to sit down with them, and we can each question them about what issues we have. I have some issues. And Sylvia, do you have issues with it? Have you looked at it?
I did. No, I have no issues.
Yeah, how about you? Steve Moreau?
My issue is that I'd like to vote or figure out a way where we could talk about them having someone to take minutes. Everything they do should be kept on minutes. They have the right to have it, and I think they should be keeping minutes.
Well, that's
of every
part of the
meeting
ethics.
they have.
They should have a paid secretary.
Well, they don't have one, so we should either get them that or figure it out for them.
We know that because we testified there, so.
I don't know if it's testifying. I
Well,
mean, I was in, I didn't.
I was there for 3 hours. Thanks, Don.
Well, I think it's just, instead of it being one person's word versus another in a later conversation, there should be just minutes. So that way the minutes are taken and they probably hold them themselves, I imagine. I mean, it's an assembled committee. I would think there's some sort of rules or laws
I
that go
think
with it.
this board touts transparency. And if there is no minutes, or we don't know when there's meetings, or if we go to flow something's not there, then it's really not too transparent, so.
Well, listen, I don't agree with that. I think it's pretty transparent because they called you in, they called me in, they called you in.
Who else got
They
called?
called
in?
another, they called a few.
Yeah, they called endorse.
Well, that was on me, though.
But there were other
They
people.
questioned him for an hour
I
with me.
think Todd Wiley was in.
Mhm.
So there were other people in there, you know what I mean? So it's hard to kind of, if you have their report, now you have the ethics that they gave us a proposal, and we get together, and what is it, 4 or 5 of them? And there's 4 or 5 of us,
It was 5.
we'll open it up and we talk about it, you know?
I just think we need a report from them, right?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
First things first. So I don't know, Dave, what do you think? Would that, I have no trouble to be a public meeting or,
If you're going to have a meeting with the Board of Ethics, I believe it should be an open.
yeah, me too.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think everybody, listen, put the cards on the table, what you think, but at the end of the day, there's 4 or 5 people gonna vote on. They can recommend whatever they want. And you have to kind of see what you like, and if there's both 3 of people, then that's what it is. All right, so let's do that. Let's wait till we get the report, we'll get together and get to the bottom of it. I'm good with it. Listen, I think someone should always overlook elected officials. That's just my personal opinion.
No, everyone.
Yeah.
They should look over everyone,
Yeah,
and there should be notes taken, so if there's ever an actual real issue,
Yeah.
it goes in a way where it's taken by a non-biased opinion, you know?
Well, I think I kind of watch over the town employees and the department heads, but I don't know who's watching over me. You know, that's what I'm saying, that there has to be somebody that looks to say, okay, yeah, you guys doing okay.
I know who's watching on me.
Yeah.
The ethics board.
Yeah, well, I think that's what they should do. That's my opinion, anyway. All right, listen, the other thing that I wanted to talk about was health benefits for elected officials. So I'll make a couple of comments and then we can go around and people, the board members can have their say. I'd asked Jack Finnegan to take a look at, you know, where we've gone with medical benefits. So just generally from 2001 to 2021, they've gone up 276%. So the medical benefits were something like $7,000 back in 2000. Now all of a sudden it's 30,000, 29 and change. So it's gone pretty high, and I don't sense that it's ever going down again. Medical benefits are very hard. So when we kind of say people have medical benefits for life, it's a bit of an issue. So right now there are probably three people, I think, or four people collecting benefits as retired elected officials, and it's Pat Malarkey, Alice Biasotti, Eric Lundstrom, and Richie Hoteli from Marietta. And their total to the town's about 35,000. That's what we pay, 35,000. That's it. I mean, they're all up in age and they're kind of on Medicare. Now, when we talk about elected officials getting benefits for life, what happens is that when you are elected official and you leave and say you're 50, you retire, you really don't get the benefit until you're 60. But from 50 to 60, you, the elected official, have to pick up the nicer plan yourself. You can't pick up any plan you want. You have to take the plan that we offer to our employees and our retired people. So you wouldn't get anything from age 50 to age 60. So it's not like you walk out the door and here you go, you get it. So I think that in my mind, there's a couple of problems. And the glaring problem to me is board members. Right now, the way it stands, board members get medical benefits after 8 years. So that's the 4 town board members. The town supervisor, the town highway superintendent, the receiver of taxes, and the town clerk, they have to be here 20 years to get benefits. So that doesn't seem right to me, right? So we also have some contracts that we have recently negotiated with our unions, and it seems like they get medical benefits after 17 years. So I would say, to me, I don't think town board members should get medical benefits, period. Not when they're working and not when they leave. Because to me, it's a part-time job. I know that every January that you have to put in how many hours you work, and it comes out that it's whatever it is, and that qualifies for full-time work. To me, I don't think that's right. That's just me. So I know that I have never collected benefits from the town. I have taken a buyout. Sometime I'm kind of have my benefits from state police that now costing me about $4,500 a year. So I take the $4,000 buyout, I get $2,500. So I'm still out a couple of grand, but I have never ever taken it. I know Councilman Bedetti qualifies under being a town employee, and he's been here for 30 some odd years, so he gets benefits as a town employee. And when he moves into retirement, then he would get them as of the 2018 contract. So having said that, what's your comments?
So, I mean, I think there's a history here. Obviously, the medical benefits after retirement started back in 2005, I believe.
Mhm.
They were given to the town, and I guess to clarify, the board members are part-time, you said that. They were given to the town board members and full-time elected officials back then at 5 years completed,
5?
5 years. After
Well, who put that in?
that was, I think it was George, Jack, I forget the name, actually I have him here, Markey.
So, but you put it in 05.
let's go back to what I said at the beginning. It was about $5,000 a year.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
I get the money part. I'm just trying to understand why you did it. What was the point of it?
Well, at that time, there was some kind of talk about would they never get medical benefits, and now they're claiming to be full-time employees. And at $7,000 a year, I probably there was 5-0 on that vote, by the way.
Oh, yeah,
I just
no,
do it by
absolutely.
myself.
No,
So that's my point, is that maybe there was some good intentions back then.
Right.
It's very expensive now.
Well, listen, I don't disagree.
275% increase,
Right.
not a 10% increase, not a 20% increase, not 100, 275. So at some point in time, it becomes unsustainable,
Yeah.
is what I'm talking about.
I just was
I'm
trying to understand the
I'm
reasoning
just
why it
trying
went
to
into
give the
place.
history. So it was done, the next regime, we'll call it, came in, it was done away with, on April 5th, 2006. And then again, in 2009, the new one came out, with the 8 years. It went from 5 years elected position to 8 years. And then that's what we currently enjoy now. And they pay, at the time that they were given that, they were lined up with the current CSEA PBA contracts, because they have the 90-10 plan and
Mhm.
75-25, so on and so forth. So that was changed then for 8 years. It went from 5 years to 8 years.
What about elected,
Part-time.
what about highway
Well,
superintendents?
so highway superintendent and all them were 20.
Yeah, so that's my point.
Absolutely absurd.
Right.
And now I said the same thing. Now this last, the PBA's had it in there for, I don't know, maybe 6 years, at 17 years. Actually, I stand corrected.
Let
I
me
think
ask
we
you a
got them
question
at the same
about, how
time.
did we get to 17?
I think we got them at the same
We
time.
negotiated, so
Yeah,
how did we get
absolutely.
there?
2018, the PBA and the CSEA approached the town and said they were looking for 17 years. There's a couple of people in a few different departments that were aged out and wanted to get out of here. And we threw it at the table, threw it at the town board and said, here. And now, mind you, George Green was the only one that did negotiating with us. No one else.
Mhm.
George sat in here with us,
Who's us?
with the PBA, the CSEA, and whoever was on the negotiating team. And George brought it back to the town board and said, this is the greatest deal. We do that today. We not necessarily with contracts, but we do it with things. Hey, listen, this is, I think is a great idea. What do you guys think? And we go for it. So that was done back then. We did the contract in 2018, and that's what we have now, which is 17 years. It was 20.
Which again,
I
I
think-
think is insane.
I
Go
think an email back and forth to you. I've been here since 1989. My first 10 years of employment here, I paid for my medical benefits. I didn't get them for free.
ahead. So did I.
I paid for them. I'm
I'm the same place. I
okay.
did the same.
I
place.
paid for them, and then after 10 years, that particular union president negotiated them that I didn't have to pay for them after 10 years. And whoever that was, I thank them. And then we moved forward to here, and I was tasked with a job to negotiate a contract, which I think I did a pretty good job at. And we did what we had to do. Now I'm on this side of the table. And I will say, in an email back and forth to you and I think we talked about medical benefits for the part-timers after 18 years. I think it's
18 years?
or 8 years, I'm sorry. I think it's ludicrous.
No.
It's crazy. They should do a minimum of what any full-time employee does in town, period.
So now let me say, let's go back again. I kind of agree with what I said. You're agreeing with what I
Yeah.
said. So now what about, how come he's not 17 years?
I believe that's an elected official thing we gotta change.
No, but that's what I'm saying. There's some issues that we have to address here.
I wasn't elected then,
Yeah, no. but
so
we
I
have to
am now,
address
so I certainly would make it 17 for him too.
17.
If that's what it's gonna be, that's what it's gonna
See,
be.
that's what we have to decide.
Well, my point is, there's a collective bargaining agreement between both unions right now. That expires at the end of 2023. If we're looking to change this, I don't care if it's short term, in the meantime, we can even do the math. If there's anybody that's between now and 2023 that's even gonna retire or eligible to retire, if they're not, then it's not gonna be, it won't
Who are
be
you
harmful.
talking about?
Anybody, like Anthony, just say Anthony's running
Are you
again.
talking about elected officials?
Elected officials.
So why are
That's
you
what
talking
we're
about the
talking
union guy?
No, because I'm saying make it even with that. If we were to do that right now, that anybody that's elected, we can certainly do the math and find out if they perhaps win,
Mhm.
are they going to be eligible to retire between now and 2023? If not, then it's a moot point. It doesn't really matter.
So let's do this. Let's make it.
But
really
then
simple.
he would have to carry the insurance through the plan you said.
No, his is 20 years, but I
No.
think there's
No, but
another.
you have to have it consistently.
No,
don't you?
we talked about town board members then.
Right.
I think he would be at a different point because now he's retiring after 20 years and he's leaving. He's got the age and all this other stuff that they have to have. So maybe he just gets it. That's what I think we're talking about. But let's take the first thing first. Where are you on 8 years?
8 years of
The town board member.
absolutely not.
Okay, where are you on town board members even getting medical benefits?
After retirement,
No, just coming in working.
part-time people,
Yeah.
none. You know why? Because I'm a part-time cop. I've been doing it for 22 years, and I don't get medical.
Okay,
So I don't think you should get it.
So, okay, where are you?
No, I agree, but so then I'm just gonna play devil's advocate. I start thinking, part-time job, great. Could you purchase your own insurance? Would that be an option? One, and then two, you talk about $30,000. Do people get free family insurance as well?
That's 30,000 is family. Single is a little much cheaper,
I didn't realize it. Okay,
and
Right,
much
yeah.
cheaper, much cheaper. But of course,
Sure, but I
most
would-
of the people
but I-
have a family, either got a wife or a husband or a kid.
sure,
or
but you don't
something.
usually get free family.
Yeah, well, here we go.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm hearing, where are you?
I just was trying to understand the concept of why it came in initially. And you said because it was cheap enough, so it wasn't a big deal to do at that time.
When I was here, there was a whole deal with employees gave back sick time. They didn't get anything. They gave a raise up for 3 years. They got 0, whatever it was. So there was some payback.
Right.
This time, there was nothing.
Right.
It was all gone, given away and gone goodbye. You seem to me may be a special issue because of the grandfather. So if you were to win again, that's an issue that we probably have to look at. I mean, he comes in here and all of a sudden everybody tells him, okay, you're here 8 years, you're going to get benefits, right? So I think if Councilman Moreau wins again, we have to look at that. You know what I'm saying to you? That what is it fair to him? He thought he was coming this way. That would be a vote. He couldn't vote. It'd be a vote for the rest of us. But I think what I'm hearing here is that there should be no benefits for town board members either leaving or being active,
Or buyouts.
right? Nothing. Zero.
But just so we're on the same page, if I win,
Yeah.
I still have to win 2 more times to be able to, because it doesn't click till you're 60.
Well, yeah, if you stay for the whole time, but you have the option though, right? At 50 or whatever you may be to 60. Let's say
To buy
years
it,
you've
right,
had
to
enough
buy
amount
it,
of here,
right.
go get, but you have to get the NYSHA. You can't get anything
I
but
know, yeah.
so that's very expensive when you're on. We're paying $30,000 if we have all these people. I don't know what it would be by yourself.
Mhm.
So the next issue is, where are we on full-time elected officials? Okay, so that would be the clerk, the highway superintendent, whoever the supervisor is, and the receiver of taxes. You want to say anything on it for your own? You can say something if you want.
There's no decision. you can
Huh?
make. I don't make a decision.
No,
on
I'm
it.
not asking you to decide. Do you want to make a comment?
No, I mean, I work
Okay.
anywhere from 40 to 60 hours
Yeah, no,
a week.
you're full-time. No one's
sometimes,
saying you're not full-time.
Yeah.
How about you, Anthony? You want to make a comment?
I think they should be even somewhere.
Huh?
I think they should be even 17 to 20 years, whatever. Should be kind of even for everybody
All right.
across the board.
Listen, I personally think 17 is insane. I would have never, ever agreed to it, but it's here. So I guess what we're saying is that, I guess if it's good for that guy, why not go for this?
So,
guy?
which means they have to get the benefit, right? They would have to get them. And if they don't make it to 17, then they lose them,
Just so
correct?
you know, none of the
No,
people
no,
in this
yeah.
room here, well, I should say none of the people, none of the elected people in
right.
this room were here when that was given.
Yeah, no, I know.
None of them.
Yeah, I got that, but
So-
we're stuck with it.
So it,
I'm here now with it.
no, I guess they stuck, but I mean, there it was the same wording in 2005, it was in 2009, to attract highly qualified elected officials.
Okay.
So that's what we're doing, we're looking to attract highly qualified people. I'm not saying that anybody can run and can't learn the job, I get it, but that was the wording that was used then and now. Do you get it or you don't get it? I mean, are you gonna contract somebody or not? I mean, I gotta be honest with you, I'm not doing this for medical benefits, I'm not even doing it for pay.
Mhm.
Doing it because it's something that I live in town and I wanna do it.
Okay.
So,
Well, do you take the buyout?
no, I get medical
No, he
benefits in
can't.
town.
He's got.
I have 32 years here,
He
I
can't take it.
earned
No,
them.
you can't take the buyout.
No.
There's another issue to the 2 judges. As far as I'm concerned, they're part-time. Right? They shouldn't get benefits while they're here. I mean, we're going to do that to the board members. And I'm doing it to the judges too, right? They should not get it while they're here.
Yes,
after they leave.
you bring up an interesting point though, because it starts to make the town positions rely on retired from state municipal jobs where the board, I believe, should be well-rounded. It should have entrepreneurial type, people that, like, I had a job that had benefits, but it didn't carry with me based on, it wasn't a state trooper job or a job that was with the town. So I'm kind of speaking loosely about it, but I
That's
feel like
all right.
you still want to keep it open to candidates that, I'm not saying you have to give benefits, but the idea is to not only be pigeonholed to people that already have benefits. You know what I mean?
I gotta be honest with you, in my opinion, there's a lot of people, a lot of part-timers that work in this town, a lot of them, that do a lot more work than we do, and they don't get it.
Right.
And I'm just saying that they're I'm not saying we should be disqualified or any of the judges or anybody should be. I'm certainly not against somebody getting medical benefits as long as you work here, but I'm definitely against somebody getting them for the rest of their life after 8 years. When I paid for 10 of them and I had to put in 20 to do it. Just my feeling.
All right, listen, I think what I kind of outlined before, let's digest this. We'll come back and talk about it next month. But once again, my opinion is town board members don't get it while they're here and don't get it after they leave. I'm understanding what I'm hearing from Steve and Steve, that are we gonna attract anybody? I don't know. We'll see. But there are people like me out there who have benefits, who don't need the benefits, who just want to come in and get it. When I had Jack look at the number of hours that board members put in for, and what the pension costs are, and what the medical, it's $256 an hour. You know what I mean? It's like crazy when you look at it. You know what I mean? It's hard to say, okay, this is justified. It's not justified in my mind. But I think that it's, once again, nobody's going to decide this but the board members.
Well, I mean, I know we're gonna push it off the next month and then.
I'm good right now. You want to, I'll put it on the
My
agenda
thing is-
tomorrow.
My thing is, if we're gonna sit down in the room, then maybe we're gonna do the ethics, we're gonna sit down in the room and do this too, and bang both out there.
Okay,
get it
so do you agree with what I've said?
with what?
No benefits for,
I've been saying it all along.
Okay.
I've been saying it all along.
and you're at the 17-year mark for the others. I was
With the forward, they should get they shouldn't have to do more than any of us.
not get less than the other people. Okay, what about you?
I agree.
Okay,
Absolutely.
what about you?
Yeah, I mean, moving forward.
Okay, so then you know what, I'll have a resolution drawn up and that'll be what it is. Judges up? Part-time.
You're the one that brought the judges
I'm
up.
telling you, they're part-time. You want to have benefits? Once again, I think we're kind of stuck with who's ever there now. The one judge has benefits from the police department, the other judge hasn't. She would be in the same boat that Steve's in. She was here under that thing, so I don't know that we run and take it away from her. I'm just saying the next person who's
But
elected.
Isn't he retired? Wouldn't he have him there?
Yeah, he's
Matt?
got, no, okay,
Yeah,
now we're
so-
just talking about the other judge. So,
No. Rick, I'm talking about. Her husband.
oh yeah, he's got him from where he's at, but I think she takes the buyout. I'm not sure.
Okay, well, then-
So I'm not confused. Are we saying from this point forward,
That's right. I thought we were gonna think about
or
it.
are
You
we
wanna talk
using the
about it?
people now?
Huh?
The people in play now as well, or from this point forward? That's what I.
Listen, I think there might be a legal issue with Steve.
Okay.
When he came in under that. There may be a legal issue with the judge. When she came in, it was under that. I'm saying from this point
So
forward,
to do away with the legal issue from this point
Well,
forward,
it
anybody
would
elected.
also eliminate your buyout, which would, if they eliminate my insurance, to eliminate your buyout
No,
also.
because
Do you
I'm
get the
taking a-
insurance?
I take a buyout.
No,
Yeah, buyout, so everybody, you
it
lose
would
that
be
too.
from this point forward.
Right,
So
that's-
anybody elected after today is gonna be under whatever we do.
okay, here's the problem. If I don't take the buyout, I just say to Jack, put me on a list for insurance. Now, of course, 30,000.
No,
Make
what
that
I'm saying is if it started today,
That's a whole nother-
no, I know. It's, in other words, it's starting January 1st is what it means, really. Right?
Don't confuse the full-time and the part-time.
Yeah, don't confuse the town supervisor with town
Council people.
So,
council person.
So-
I'm a full-time guy, so I'm entitled to benefits right now. I could go up to Jack and I could call the state police or state and say,
Right?
hold it, I don't want him. I'm not paying anymore. I'm gonna go take.
Oh, I see, because you're
I'm not gonna
full-time.
do it.
Got it.
It was
So-
30,000.
to dumb it down, you win in November, you still have medical benefits.
No, I got it. I got
Yeah,
it.
that's
He
what I'm
cleared it
saying.
up because I was confusing you with all of us.
No. And I think the same thing with the judge.
It's actually not even all of us because he's not even.
Yeah,
into just
so,
being here.
yeah.
She was here.
Yeah.
So I think it might take Dave a little time to write it up.
So
So,
from
yeah,
this point
let's put it on the agenda for
Yeah.
September. We'll talk about it again at the workshop, like I said originally. And then we'll send everybody a copy of the resolution and make sure that everybody understands where we're going.
This meeting makes me want to legalize the cannabis law.
What's that?
The meeting makes me want to
Oh,
legalize.
You go to different
Right.
towns.
Yeah, we can't
Just
just
go to town around somewhere.
That's what I'm saying.
Just, I was going through some of this crap today and I had a couple things. Do you mind if I just?
Well, I'm not done. Let me, when I finish.
Okay, my bad.
Sometimes we're rushed here because and I have some things that are not listed on the
No, fair
workshop that I want to bring up to you guys.
Fair enough.
The one is the water. I've sent everybody the paperwork about the Butter Hill wells. We're having lots of issues with that. Pumps are breaking, valves are breaking, we're replacing this, replacing that. One of the things that I've been doing that we've been kind of chasing DEC around a little bit. We have that water plant up at the airport. And we have a tap up there, which is very important that we have. This is the second tap that the town has into the aqueduct. So we have had some conversation with DEC. And what we have said to DEC is that they're talking about bringing this expanded GAC system to the Forge Hill plant. In other words, we have a small one down there now that only is good for 2 million gallons a day. Now they're talking about bringing one in that will be good maybe for the whole 6 million that it can do. So we all know that the water is not what we would like it to be. So we are taking water from the aqueduct and we're right back on it in 2020. One of the things that we have proposed to DEC, instead of giving us this new GAC, this big GAC, to give us a membrane filtration plant up at Stewart Airport that would be capable of doing anywhere from 2 to 6 million gallons. So if we got that, right, then we could just have that Forge Hill plant as a backup. And there's a lot of confusion out there. We can never just shut it down and walk away and say goodbye, because that is the town's backup. So once they take us off the aqueduct, we're in trouble for water. So we need to go to the Forge Hill plant, and we also pay a premium rate to the city of Newburgh and the town of Newburgh to take water from our interconnects, which are on Lake Street and out on Executive Drive in the airport. So there's no way that we can just say, okay, folks, we're all done with this, we're walking away. What we do now is we blend water from the wells that we have at the Crow well, we have the Butterhill wells, with the aqueduct water. And so it depends on where you are, where the blending goes. But I think if we could convince them, and they seem to be looking at this, they think it might be a good idea. And what would help us a lot, even if they say, okay, we're going to buy you the new expanding GAC down at Forge Hill Road, but do 6 million. Well, when it goes in 2 years or 4 years or 5 years, well, it's ours. Now we got to come up with the money to fix it and replace the parts. However, if we could get this plant up at Stewart Airport, that would really, really make this a win. So we could get all the water from the aqueduct and just use some of this plant water just to kind of exercise the valves and stuff to keep them going. One of the problems we're finding out is that a lot of this stuff is malfunctioning because it's not pumping enough, not using enough water. So there was some issues with this plant from the get-go, but we're here now and we have to kind of look to straighten it out. Go ahead.
What's that say for Riley Road? I mean,
Well, I'm coming.
Okay.
You need to
My
kind of
bad.
just give me a minute, okay? All right. I'm beginning to start to interview engineers to give us a proposal to not only expand, but to upgrade Riley Road. Okay, we have problems with Riley Road when the water comes in and there's a lot of turbidity. Turbidity just means dirt in the water. We are not able to handle it. So now I want to upgrade that plant and maybe expand it, but depending upon what we hear back from DEC. So we hear back from DEC and they say, okay, we'll give you a plant that does 2 or 3 million up at Stewart, then we can get by with 2 million down here. But we need to be able to clean that water up when it comes in with the turbidity. So this is a very complicated issue because it's coming from all over. When we get water from the city of Newburgh, when the aqueduct is shut down and we buy water from the city of Newburgh, we're buying it from Browns Pond. That's where we're getting it, all right? Yeah, so that's what they're sending us. When we get it from the town of Newburgh, we're getting it from the Delaware aqueduct, which is okay. That takes me to the next point. In 2022, a couple of years ago, there was a contract signed that the town of New Windsor would supply water to the town of Newburgh in 2022 when they shut the Delaware aqueduct down. So we are duty bound to supply them water. So as I said, it gets very complicated, and that's a killer, that we have to water to them. Let's say what we have to. So they are trying now to do things in Chadwick Lake and some other water source to have it there, but I'm hearing they're having trouble with getting the water where it's clean. So that's the issue with everything, that I just think people just, not you people, but you understand that our residents need to understand that Forge Hill is the backup. That's it. You can't just walk away from it. As much as I think we would all like to walk away from it, we can't. So sometimes when they shut the aqueduct down, they give us notice that they're going to shut it down, and then we have to make plans to take more water from Butterhill, buy water from the city of Newburgh, buy water from the town of Newburgh, and they charge us an exorbitant fee to buy that water. However, when we sell them water in 2022, we will charge them an exorbitant fee. Okay, so I think that this thing is very complicated. And this new plant up at Stewart is kind of like only in the last few weeks that we've been talking about this. They seem interested in it, DEC. that maybe this would be the long-term solution for get away from the GAC, get away. I'm sure you all know, the GAC system on Union Avenue by Washington Lake is a city of New, they don't even use it. They refuse to use it. So they're now on the aqueduct. But when the aqueduct shuts down, then they go right to Brown's Pond.
$50 million, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a lot of money.
But I think their water actually goes, even their aqueduct goes through their GAC, their permanent GAC, then out to the customers.
I don't know why it would have to go to the GAC, but anyway,
It
who knows
does,
what they do?
yeah.
I don't know
No,
what
it
they do.
does.
Listen, the other issue about the water is KJ has now had a contract that was signed 2018, whatever it was signed. They now are gonna put a tap in Raleigh Road. Okay, so what they're proposing is that they would have one tap instead of two taps, one for that we have and now one for them. They're proposing to put one that would be for both municipalities. I am very concerned about that. They now have decided that they're having trouble some time-wise running the pipe down Route 32. How they're gonna get around Vales Gate? They're going behind businesses, they're going underground, where they're going. So they want to start work at Raleigh Road. Right? They want to begin the tap work at Raleigh Road. There's 26-inch pipes out there. There's 18-inch pipes on Raleigh Road, and I'm very concerned that they start work, they're going to hit something. And one of the things they hit, they take Cornwall right out of business. One of those pipes goes down to Cornwall. They would hurt us pretty good. So we are now in negotiations with them about what we want them to do. I think I sent everybody a copy of the list that we want them to have all of the replacement parts on site. In other words, like when somebody hits a water main, they go order it and they give us, no, we don't want it ordered. We want everything there that they have it. So there's a water agreement between us and DEP and KJ that we kind of work our way through, but we hold one card and one card only. That's Anthony Feo giving them a road opening. And I'm not going to ask Anthony to do that until after we are very comfortable as to what they are going to do. All right, so they may do some testing up there, and once we kind of find out exactly what it is, that may be okay, but they want to go to work right away. And I'm very concerned about all those pipes, and it's in a small area, and the maps are not that great. I mean, so it could be a little bit of a guessing system. So as you can see, I'm well aware of the Fort Hill thing. We're now looking at that, Stuart. I'm gonna get this, take a look at upgrading or expanding this Raleigh Road plan, depending upon what goes on up there. But I'm gonna start to interview people. I think we've talked about this before. We're gonna have the going house to do the sewer plant expansion. I want to hire somebody to look at them. And then we're gonna have somebody to do the Raleigh Road plan. I want to hire maybe McGowan to overlook that. So I don't want to just do one person. You brought something up before, a couple of meetings ago, probably had some merit to it. So we need to kind of do it right. And I need somebody to look at somebody and say, okay, yeah, I think what they're doing is good. So the water issue is complicated, but I don't think that we have missed a beat on where we're going. So I just wanted everybody to understand that. And sometimes the public to understand too. Well, why can't we just get off with Fort Hill? We can't, ever. Go ahead.
The DEC's, obviously, you guys, it's basically probably a new plan up there, because that plan's older than
Yeah,
me.
it's some kind of like, not a big deal. So it's described to me like a trailer.
Will they do the same, oh, okay,
Yeah.
because I know, Riley Road was, last time it was expanded, it was made to expand even more.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how much or how soon that could be.
No, it's something to just bring
Done.
in.
Yeah.
But it's costly, but so is the GAC. And the GAC I'd like to get rid of the GAC altogether, because at some point in time, it's gonna go down and the town will be responsible for it. Could be 5 years, could be 10 years, but it's gonna go. The plant would be fine. So I think that Jito and Weeks kind of came up with this, kind of threw it at them, and all of a sudden, they're very, very interested. Okay, because they want to get away from us too. You know what I mean? They just want to, okay, let's get away from these guys and be done with it. So, okay, that's all I had. What do you?
So just, while you're going with the water there.
Yeah, that's where I am.
A while ago, I don't know if you remember, I brought up that, when we were doing that water meter project,
Yeah.
that app that the customers can have. There's an app you can have on your phone. If there's snowbirds or people are away, you can know if you have higher water consumption. You can tell if you have a leak. John McDonald's been emailing back and forth with me in reference to the cost of it. It was $27,000 I spoke to Weeks. Weeks said there's a ton of money still in the water meter project that we can buy it, because John is actually gonna try to, budget for next year. But the $27,000 includes the app for the customers and 1 year subscription. So if he were to budget for 23, it'd be okay. And it's $6,700 a year. I think it's, for the money people pay for the water, I think it's something that we should consider giving them.
Okay, personally, I think the water's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
You've been able to do this yourself, aren't you, with some of this stuff? The time I got a leak, they call you and you're able to
Yeah, I
look at
can
it?
look at it.
Yeah,
but
we can do that ourselves.
On the app, they can set, notifications for themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I remember somebody that we knew that was away in Florida that didn't find it for days after.
Yeah.
And it cost them thousands of dollars, where something that any customer can actually, it would notify them. And it would even for anybody, even for landlords.
Somebody's got to write it up. I gotta see what it looks like.
Yeah, I
Somebody's gotta write it up.
I can forward you the
Who were you
email.
talking to?
John McDonald.
Somebody's got, what's he doing with water?
He was dealing with, Nexus. What is it?
All right, so
New
listen,
World.
Yeah.
you aware of this too?
John came and.
Okay.
He emailed
asked
him
me
and I.
about it.
Okay, so
All
someone
right.
needs to write it up. I need to look at it.
All right. I'll send it to him.
Okay, so like I said, the water is complicated, not an easy fix, but I think we're covering all the bases here. All right, listen, it's a couple of items on the agenda tomorrow. I'm still working with Jen on this. That Sloop Hill, what are we doing out there now, Anthony? Sloop Hill, we're doing some test borings or something?
Doing some test boring to see what we need sheathing or a different alteration to secure the bank.
Okay.
Mike Weeds is working on that.
That's a project that we have to do. Listen, I had the paving people in and some people on sidewalks and curbs in the other day, and we, with Anthony, went around and we're kind of getting ready to kind of pave the parking lot out here in Town Hall. And we're gonna do a resolution Wednesday. We do something with sidewalks not to exceed 80,000. Town Hall not to exceed 225,000. And 244 Union, it looks like it's been bombed at not to exceed 45. They're all higher than the proposals that we have, so they're just not to exceed. We are not gonna borrow the money. We're gonna take it out of one of the funds that we seem to have a lot of money in. So we will not be bonding it. We have money that we're gonna use to pay for this town hall, the curbs, and the 244 Union. So that'll be there, but it'll be not to exceed. The prices that they gave us, you're gonna do a little, trucking of something in here?
We're gonna take the millions.
You're gonna
to
take the
highway.
millions of what?
Yes.
Okay, so that saved us about 6,000, I think, something like that. Okay, so listen, this parking lot looks terrible. The curbs are dangerous, people are gonna fall.
I tripped going from the parking lot onto one concert night and I watched 3 people trip.
Yeah,
Is
no,
that
we're
gonna
gonna-
be a smoother thing there
Are we doing something on that side?
or no?
No, he's talking about the country side now.
This is not a concert site. That sidewalk? Where?
Well, the parking lot just goes right into the grass and then there's a lip about,
Yeah, we only did the front, so you're doing the return and then back in?
Just what's here. They're just redoing what's here, except for the newer stuff.
Oh, okay.
They're not adding anything on.
no,
No, no,
I'm
no.
just saying, is it gonna be higher? Is it gonna be,
Was it you're milling a lot?
They're gonna mill the road, the parking lot, correct?
all right, well, I'm just saying, if you go over there, you see there's a
Should
hump
pick it
going
up,
up.
I think, come to the crest.
No, they're gonna drop the parking lot about 2.5 to 3 inches
All right.
roughly.
And then bring it up like,
Well, they're
4.
gonna retop it. So yes, they're gonna bring it probably at least
that should do it.
2.5.
All right, there'll be something on there tomorrow too about authorizing me to sign something with DEC. Well, they have kind of agreed to give us, what, 3.6 million? Dave, is that the number?
That's my understanding. yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
So
kind of
hopefully we'll get that.
Informal conversation I had with Martin Brand, but yeah.
So that will help us to pay for the water that we still haven't paid New York City for. So hopefully, listen, how this started was I said, listen, they're paying the city of Newburgh for the water. Why aren't they paying us? So I think they kind of saw the fairness in that thing.
And they're not used.
Huh?
Edinburgh doesn't use it.
Well,
Yeah.
they are paying for them. So those are just the things that come up that I wasn't able to get in the agenda. I just wanted everybody to know where I was going. Okay, so that's the end of the, that part of the meeting. We're gonna go to executive session now, to talk about some personnel issues. So Patrick, you'll take it down. Anthony, can't wait. Take me with you. Don't leave me here.
He's
Okay.
taking Donnie's.
Come on, let's go.
Let's go.